Hi everyone, it's Danny. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here with a challenge video for Scrap the Girls May challenge. It is this sketch by the very talented Sue Plum. So lots of florals. I'm going to start with just prepping my white cardstock with some gesso, just white gesso. I'm going to coat the whole sheet with it. And you can see there off to the side on the right, I have a bunch of florals fussy cut out from a Kaisercraft paper. I did that ages ago. I had them in a packet just waiting for the right layout, and as soon as I saw that sketch, I knew it was perfect. So now I'm going to add some die cuts in. I'm just going to cut them out. I'm not sure how I'm going to use them yet, but I really wanted to use this new die that I have from Kaisercraft. It's from the Let's Breathe or Breathe collection. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but it's a really beautiful sort of skinny outline flower with lots of white space. And these two papers I'm using to cut these out are from Kaisercraft as well. They're just from different collections. I've got a bunch of papers just sitting out that I want to get through, so I thought the colours of these papers matched nicely with the florals. So I'm just sort of going to pull in all my fussy cut flowers here, and I'm just getting a rough idea of where I want to put them at this point. I'm not even sure at this point which photo I'm going to use. So just trying to sort of lay them out on the page and get a bit of an idea of what I'm doing. If you can hear music in the background, my daughter's playing with one of her toys. So this is the photo I've chosen. This is a photo of me and two of my very best friends at a work function. We had like a gala ball event for our company's 50th birthday anniversary. So yeah, it was a really beautiful night, and our dresses match the florals in that. The florals are fussy cut perfectly, so I'm wearing that sort of corally peach colour that matches those pink roses, and my friend is wearing the same sort of dusky purple, and then my other friend is just wearing a really dark navy blue, so the colours just matched really nicely. And I thought, you know, it's three of us girls together. I love this photo of us, and yeah, why not try and get it on the page? So backing it with a little bit of white tissue paper, I'm just trimming off the sides, and then I am going to tear the top and the bottom. I just want a really sort of soft effect, if that makes sense. So now I'm going to take this pink one, that's just the offcuts from where I have cut out those dies, and I'm going to use the other side. So on the reverse side is that sort of quatrefoil white colour, and this is just a really soft pink on the reverse side. So again, I'm tearing the top and the bottom, and this is a really good way to get your scraps up if you have bits of sort of paper left over from cutting out die cuts or anything, cutting out cut files. If you have bits big enough to make photos with, it's a good way to use them up without just throwing them in the bin. And you'd never know, looking from the front, that there was big holes in the back of this paper. So I'm going to do the same thing with the front side of that paper. And I'm just sort of going to tear again. I just want really, really soft edges. I don't want harsh, straight edges on the top and the bottom there. There we go. All right. Going through my die cuts, I'm trying to find a journaling spot. I pulled this one out pretty much straight away. It says mindful moments or something in gold foil. I'm not sure, but the purple matched perfectly, and it has lines on it, so good place to journal. Just bring in small papers here. The sketch has a sort of horizontal strip running across the back and the top of the photo, so I'm trying to find a paper that will work for that, and I like this grey and white polka dot. It's nice and soft, it's not going to overwhelm my photo mats, and I'm just sort of slotting it in between my layers there. Lovely. Really soft. I'm just going to rip that edge, and I think I cut this edge. Yep. And I'm going to pop my journaling spot down. I put it in at an angle here, but I do end up going in and straightening it up because it's annoying me. It's the only thing that's on an angle and it just doesn't look right. Okay, I'm pulling in this paper. This was just in my stash of scraps. It kind of looks just plain pink to me on the screen, but it's got stripes, vertical stripes running through it. And it's a slightly darker pink than the other pink of my photo mat there. So I'm just adding it in to that side. It sort of felt like I don't know, I think because I've got my journaling spot there and it's sticking out kind of further than the other photo mats, it just kind of looked like it was sticking out. So I'm trying to extend my photo mats just a little bit more to make that not look so strange. And then I'll just tear a little bit extra off this strip. So that was sort of, I don't know, it just looked like it was kind of jutting out oddly. Okay, again, this side was just looking a bit too straight, I guess, because I cut all the papers sort of straight on that side and I wanted to soften it up a bit. So I'm just putting a strip of double-sided tape and I'm going to take some of that same white tissue paper I matted my photo with and pleat it up into just a very rough sort of ruffle. I'm not being precise with this, I'm being just sort of pretty haphazard about it. I just want it to be a nice soft layer. There, love that. And now I'm going to go through all my straight edges. So much noise in my house at the moment, I really do apologize. I'm going to go through all my straight edges and ruffle up the edges with my fussy cutting scissors just to stress them a little bit. Trimmed off a bit of that journaling spot because I didn't like how much it was sticking out. And then I realized it's got these little holes. They were already sort of punched out, but the bits of paper were still sitting inside, if that makes sense. You know, when you get a die cut piece and sometimes the negative space piece hasn't punched out all the way. So I just popped those out. And yeah, that's pretty cool. I like the bit of extra texture. And again, positioning my florals. I am planning on going ahead and doing some mixed media. So what I'm going to do is lay out all my florals how I want them and then stick them all to my photo mat because I don't want to have to do my mixed media and sort of like put all the florals on and off individually, if that makes sense. You'll see what I mean in a minute. But I popped my photo up on some foam and now I'm going to take all those florals and attach them to my photo mat. So I'm going to slip some of them in between the layers and just add a bit of wet glue. And then I'm going to glue some to just to the very back of the photo. You can see that little cluster down the bottom. I am just building that up now. I found this True Friendship die cut in one of my reject shop packs and I thought that was perfect. Pop that one little rose up on some foam to add some extra dimension. There you go. I love that. And now I'm going to pull in my die cuts. So I'm sort of just going to layer these all over the place. It's just adding another different texture. And because they're so skinny and sort of delicate, they're not overwhelming at all. They just add a really nice extra texture. So I'm going to pop those around in different places. Not really sure what I want to do with them at this point. I don't know. I think sometimes you have to get things on a page and see what they look like before you before you commit. So I've just sped this up really fast because it was taking so long. Sometimes I can be a bit indecisive. Some of them I'm cutting in half, as you can see there. And then I'm just sort of slotting them in between. So I'm putting some right at the back. I'm putting some a bit closer to the front on top of the florals. I'm putting some between my photo layers. And I'm trying to get both of those colors on. There we go. So I kind of just want them to be peeking out from between all the roses, from behind the roses. I just love this new dye. It's so much fun. I've used it a few times now, actually. Okay. Need to add something in here. It's looking a bit blank. So put those little ones in, and I'm trying to make sure I leave space for my title there. So I'm going to pop in a few extra leaves there, where it was looking a bit sparse. And now I'm going to try out my title. I just want to make sure it fits. I'm not going to stick it down because I am going to do some mixed media. So these are the Let's Get Together Alphas by Rosie Studio. And here we go, mixed media. This is going to take quite a while. I speed it up pretty quickly because it goes on for quite some time. So this little pot I have is one of those sort of solid paints that you have to add water to and then it sort of softens up and goes liquid. And it's the Chiffon Pink colour by Luminart, I think the brand is. I got it at a craft show like probably 10 years ago, seriously. I don't even know whether the brand still exists. But it's a really soft blush pink, as you can see. It's really pretty and shimmery when it dries. And this is just going to be my first layer, so I'm sort of just doing a little bit behind all my clusters and then some splatters. Okay, I don't know why it skipped to me doing my journaling, but I'm just using a Staedtler fine liner in sort of a lilac-y purple colour. Just putting in our names and what the event was and then the date. There we go. I think I was waiting for that first paint to dry because I didn't want all the other colours to bleed into it, so I just went and did my journaling while I was waiting. This mist I'm using is a Kaisercraft mist. It's in the rose gold colour, and it's not rose gold. I mean, look at it. It's a very sort of peachy orange coral sort of colour, really dark coral, I would say. It dries a lot lighter. So I'm trying to position it so it sort of peeks out, but not much. It's a very sort of bold colour compared to the other soft colours I'm using. So I just want it to just peek out from underneath my layers. And like I said, it does dry a lot lighter, and it's really pretty and shimmery when it does dry. Okay, this next colour I'm using is the Heidi Swapp Colour Shine in Coral, and it's more of a sort of peachy, a bit more orange peach colour, and a little bit lighter as well. And then just lots of splatters with all those colours, and then some gold splatters. So that gold mist I use is the Kaisercraft one. And I've let all that dry off camera, and then I'm going to glue down my photo. And I put lots of glue behind everything because I did use gesso, so nothing likes to stick. So you definitely want to use a wet glue if you use gesso. And just put my paper pad on top there just so it really sort of, the paper is a bit warped, so I wanted to make sure it got lots of contact while it was drying. I don't need to do that for long because I do use tacky glue, so it sticks pretty quick. Okay. I've got a bit of foam tape here. I'm just going in behind the florals and popping up the outside edges of some of them, and I'm putting foam between some of the layers of the florals too, just to add some more beautiful dimension. I've cut most of that out. It was very boring to watch. The rest of my title is the Kaisercraft Little Alphas in Coral, I think, and then a little phrase sticker from Cocoa Vanilla and a few gold glitter hearts. I just wanted to fill in that space after girls, and I've added in 2 more in that bottom cluster and 1 at the top left of my photo to make a bit of a visual triangle. And here are the close-ups. I love this layout. I'm so happy with it. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'll leave the link to the challenge in the description box if you want to go join, and thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye!